What are microplastics? Microplastics are tiny plastics smaller than 5 millimeters in length. They come from larger sizes of plastic that break down over time due to exposure such as sunlight and water. Examples are broken down plastic bags or bottles. These types of microplastics are considered secondary sources. Microplastics can also come from primary sources like intentionally manufactured products such as microbeads or synthetic fibers. These types of microplastics can include cosmetics like toothpaste, body wash, or clothing sources.
Take a second to figure out which of the following are primary or secondary sources of microplastics. Microbeads in cosmetics, industrial abrasives, and fibers from clothing can all be considered primary sources of microplastics. Meanwhile, plastic debris and fish nets can be seen as secondary sources.
Microplastics typically end up in our water sources, food, and into our bodies.
How do microplastics impact biology? When microplastics end up in our water sources, they can put our ecosystems and wildlife at risk. Microplastics that end up in our bodies of water, such as oceans, lakes, rivers, etc., can disrupt the aquatic ecosystem. Microplastics are initially ingested by plankton and fish. As these microplastics move through the food web, they end up in higher trophic levels. This affects growth and survival rates of our marine species. Microplastics also end up in our soil. This disrupts plant growth and is harmful for animals depending on plant-based nutrients. Additionally, it alters human crops and agriculture. Microplastics in our environment can end up in human food sources and impact our daily life.
How do microplastics impact everyday life? Microplastics can end up in the human body through our food and water sources, our respiratory system, and skin. Microplastics have been found to cause damaging effects on human health. These include inflammation in the body, which can lead to various cancers, endocrine disruption, which affects functioning organs that respond to hormones, digestive issues, respiratory issues, and reproduction issues.
Every day we find more microplastics in our bodies which can affect our health. What can we do to reduce microplastics? Some possible solutions to reducing microplastics can be avoiding single-use plastic products such as plastic water bottles and plastic bags. We can avoid microbeads and harmful ingredients in daily objects. Additionally, we can implement useful tactics such as recycling, reusing, and reducing. We can use biodegradable products and support local businesses. Water filters are also a great way to reducing the amount of microplastics that end up in our everyday water sources such as a kitchen sink. So why should we reduce microplastics? By reducing microplastics, we can conserve our environment, meaning we can protect our oceans, our air, and our lands, creating a healthier space to live in. Lastly, we can contribute to healthier lives and communities in our everyday life.